let me talk to you about the Israeli-Palestinian issue. It is also crucial that we break the continued deadlock in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. We must help the Israelis and Palestinians negotiate a two-state solution, which guarantees Israel's security and creates a viable Palestinian state. To do this, the United States must rebuild the credibility that has been lost, so that we can facilitate, broker, and help finance a lasting peace. I will go to work on day one, employing my years of experience as a negotiator to broker a solution. The broken dream of peace cannot be abandoned. We must take the shattered pieces and build a new reality. We must also engage Syria. In recent years, Syria has been behaving badly. Syria has provided sanctuary to Iraqi insurgents, has been implicated in the assassination of Lebanese lawmakers. Now Syria says it will not attend the peace conference that Secretary Rice is promoting. Syria has acted against the interests of peace in the past, and it has supported Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and the insurgency in Iraq. We can't be ignoring this. But let's look realistically at our options. Some in the administration may still harbor fantasies of regime change. But how can we expect President Assad to work with us when all we do is threaten him? And the sad reality is that regime change in Syria could well bring someone even worse. Have we not yet learned from bitter experience next door in Iraq that there is more to democracy than just removing a dictator? For nearly 7 years, the administration has refused to engage Syria diplomatically. When the Bush administration has not been threatening Syria, it simply ignored him. Now, what has it gotten us today? Today, the Syrian regime feels emboldened to work against our interests everywhere in the region. The current policy simply is not working. Diplomacy with Syria, with no precondition, from either side, is the only realistic option. We need to talk tough to the Syrians and let them know that they will get nothing for free. But in order to talk tough, you need to talk. I don't know if we can achieve a breakthrough with Syria, but we certainly can try. And we need to find ways that recognizes that a breakthrough with Syria could benefit America, Iraq, Israel, and Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria itself. Syria has great influence over both Hamas and Hezbollah. Syria has influence in Iraq. If we were able to reach an accommodation with Syria, we could break their alliance with Iran, increase the odds for peace in Iraq and with Israel, and alter the political landscape of the entire region. We need to give Syria a choice. They can choose to continue their efforts to destabilize Iraq and seek control over Lebanon, or they can be part of the solution by engaging with the United States and Israel to resolve the issue of the Golan Heights, to end their support of Hezbollah, to give up their interference in Iraq and Lebanon. We must never compromise on Lebanon's territorial integrity. Lebanon is a small, struggling democracy which deserves our support. We must bolster Lebanese moderates in their fights and against Syrian efforts to reestablish control over its neighbor. But threatening Syria is not the way to do it. As distasteful as it may be, we want to change Syria's behavior. If we want to change Syria's behavior, we need to talk to them. Look, there are no many easy answers in the Middle East. There are no guarantees of success. But the administration's approach, making threats and undermining potential allies, clearly has not worked. I know we can do better. Despite the failures, the mistakes, and the misguided policies of the last years, I'm optimistic. I'm positive about this country. I'm patriotic. We can restore America's credibility and strengthen the Middle East and around the world. When I was in Darfur, negotiating a ceasefire, I was in a refugee tent. A woman came up to me and asked me why America was not doing more on the genocide, on the displacement of people. There were many people from other countries there. She didn't walk up to them. She walked up to me. It was America she expected more from. Well, I expect more from America too. And we should all expect more from America. We should expect fewer excuses and more results. When I'm president president, I will live up to the high expectations that we have for our country. Now is not the time for political calculation on this side, on that side. We cannot afford more leadership that has not been tested. My colleagues in the race have my respect. They may have more money, more glamour, more political pedigree, but the simple fact is that the next international deal negotiated by any one of them will be there first. This is a time for bold leadership. I believe in America, and that's why I'm running for president. So I ask all Americans to join me in rebuilding this global leadership. This is what we need. The courage to stand fast in the face of inevitable setbacks. And then the faith to return to American principles. Equality, freedom, human dignity, human rights. These are the values that every American has inherited. Let us be worthy of them. And let me conclude again by thanking members of your community in America that have been here today. You know, I strongly believe that this election is not going to be settled by the pundits, by the elites in Washington and New York who tell you that this is a two-person race. They're going to be settled in your cities, in your towns. They'll be settled in the living rooms of Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada, where a much closer race is happening. And I simply want to say to you that I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for it. I want you to know that you will always get from Bill Richardson the truth. Now, I make mistakes, if any, because I want to engage. And I've said to you that maybe the solutions will come after dialogue. All my life, all my rescues of American hostages bring people together. Almost all of them have worked because I have respect for another point of view. I have respect, being bicultural myself, like you, for other worlds, for other religions, for tolerance, for making sure that government policies don't get in the way of people talking to each other. So I have that ultimate faith that many of these issues we can resolve. And so I know politicians have come to you and they promise everything. And you know, maybe my speech, well, I didn't, because I said, I think we can succeed, and I'm optimistic we can succeed. But I want to thank you again for your courtesy in listening to me. I think there's so many challenges ahead. And my last point, have faith in this country. We're a good country. The American people want leadership. They want to be inspired. They want somebody, more than anything else, Republican or Democrat or Independent, they want somebody to bring this country together. We're a divided country today. We need to come together on the war, on immigration, on civil liberties, on health care, on education, on kids, on the future, on competitiveness. We need to come together. And more than anything, I believe the next race will be determined by those that are perceived to bring this country together. And I offer myself to you in that vein. As not a perfect human being, but a human being that wants to bring peace. And I thank you.
We appreciate it very much. If some of you would like to join us in the Rotunda room next door, Governor Richardson will be there to answer any questions and to meet all of you. And we appreciate you coming over to support him. Thank you.
Thank you, Norman. Thank you, Governor Richardson. Let me give you a bit of what we're going to do. We are going to take a bit of a break right now, and lunch is going to be served in here. And then Mark Steitz, who is a friend and just one of the real smart guys I know in politics and in communications, and I are going to talk to you about some of the things that we're hearing and where we think Arab Americans ought to go in the next couple of years. And Congressman Dingell is here, and he's going to speak to us over lunch. And so we're going to break for just a little bit while lunch is being served, and we'll be right back. Let's say in 15 minutes we'll be back here in the room for the closing session.